Welcome to the MICPA student panel. We have three students or alums, recent alums from various universities, as well as three panelists that have some experience interning in public accounting. So we've invited them here today to share their experiences and hopefully help open your eyes to the world of public accounting, both first and foremost, both as a choice for your collegiate curriculum, but second of all, from a career perspective. So my name is Will Love. I am an audit partner with Ernst & Young in the Detroit office. I've been in public accounting for 14 years, also been rather active with the MICPA over the past few years, really focusing on helping the MICPA promote and show high school students the career opportunities associated with accounting. So with that, I'll start with introductions of our panelists. First, we'll start with Meredith.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Will. My name is Meredith Sims. I am a current senior at Michigan State University, majoring in accounting. And I was first introduced to accounting by joining a student org at my university, NABA, which is the National Association of Black Accountants. And through that organization, I had older mentors within the business college that cultivated me as a business professional and introduced me to Ernst & Young. And so I actually know Will from my various internships. And so I was first introduced to EY. I was a launch intern. And so the summer after my sophomore year, I got to do a 6-week internship, and I got to rotate through the core business services at EY, so tax, audit, and advisory. And then the following summer, although it was a pandemic experience, I got to do a virtual tax internship, and will be starting with the firm after I graduate my master's.
Great, thanks, Meredith. So Nina, we'll kick it over to you next.
Okay. Hi, my name is Nina Winuk. I graduated from MSU this summer, so the summer of 2020, with a degree in accounting and a minor in information technology. Currently, I'm a student at Walsh College, and I'm getting my master's degree in accounting with a concentration in data analytics. I had an internship with Grant Thornton, which is a public accounting firm here in Michigan. The summer of 2019, I have an additional internship with them as well, this upcoming busy season of 2021, and I'll start with the firm in the fall of 2021.
Nolan, we'll have you round out the introductions.
Hi, my name is Nolan Smith. I graduated from the University of Michigan this past May, and I'm currently doing my master's in accounting at Ohio State University. And like Nina, I'm doing a focus in data and analytics with my master's. So I did an audit internship at KPMG the summer after my junior year. And this coming winter, I'll be doing a busy season audit internship with KPMG, and then I will be joining them full-time next fall.
Welcome, panelists. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedules to do this. And with that, we'll jump into some questions. And the first one, I'd like to really focus on why you chose accounting, first and foremost, as your undergraduate major, but then also secondly for a potential career path. So I'll start with Meredith on this one, and then I'll kick off the next few questions with the other panelists.
This is a really good question. I love talking about, how I was introduced to the profession, because a little background on me, I think I had more of a non-traditional path. So I did the first semester of my freshman year of college at Wayne State University, which is in the Detroit area. And I originally was a human bio major. I was going to be an optometrist, so an eye doctor, and did that first kind of semester of science classes and realized that I don't want to do this for 8 years. And so it was just kind of that realization that higher education is a privilege as well as an experience. And I wanted to experience learning that I enjoyed and felt confident about. And so I actually had an econ professor who knew I was transferring to Michigan State and told me to check out the Broad Business College. And so I was like, okay. And I had an accounting elective in high school, and I was good at it, but I didn't really think about it seriously. I think with college, you're kind of told, oh, you can go pre-med, or you can be a doctor, or you can be a teacher. And I don't think we're as well educated about other avenues. And so I kind of, was on that doctor route. And I applied to the business college at Michigan State because there's a second application process to get into Broad. And just seeing the different student orgs on campus, it was really important to me to find an org that kind of represented my background as well as my interests. And so that's how I got connected with the National Association of Black Accountants. And through the mentors in that organization, someone reached out to me and asked what I was doing for the summer and just connected me with Ernst & Young. And I was just amazed at how, as a sophomore, just getting admitted into the business college, this big accredited company offered me an internship. And so it's been amazing ever since, and getting into the major and really liking the classes. So I would just say connecting with people and realizing what I didn't like led me to accounting, and just the amazing people at UI have made me want to stay.
Great. Thank you for that. Similar to my story as well. So, Nina, what about you? Are you just really good at math, or what? What drew you to accounting?
I mean, I do really enjoy math. I know many people probably don't, but it is something I like. But I actually took an accounting elective in high school, and that kind of introduced me to the field. And I took it because my mom's an accountant, and I thought she would do my homework for me. Turns out she did not do that. And I really enjoyed the class. And so in high school, I ended up taking another accounting elective. And then from there, that was kind of how I got into accounting. And so I just made that a priority throughout my undergraduate education. And so, yeah, that's why accounting. And I really enjoyed the career field.
Great. Thanks, Nina. Nolan?
Yeah, so I would say, in a sense, I almost fell into accounting. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I was in the business school my sophomore year, and a lot of undergrads at Michigan's business school tend to go the finance or consulting route. And I knew that wasn't really something I wanted to do. So I ended up going to a Big Four accounting career fair and talking to some of the employees from the different accounting firms, and started to learn a little bit about it, what a career in accounting was like. And I think what I really liked from what I was hearing was that accounting is, it's kind of the language of business. That's what a lot of people tend to say, not to pass on a cliche, but I think it's true. Accounting really enables you to, if you have a good sense of accounting and how it works, it enables you to work across many different industries, and really any company, because accounting is essential to any company. So I kind of approached it as accounting is a very logical career path, which I like. And it really enables you further down in your career to kind of spring off and do other things that you might find interesting.
Thank you for that perspective, Nolan. Now, tell me a little bit about what the accounting program, or if you want to go into accounting at U of M, what the path is like, what the curriculum is like. And then also for those that have heard the stereotype or have heard, that accounting from a curriculum perspective is rigorous or challenging. Are the classes as hard or as scary as someone make you think they are?
Yeah, so I think we kind of hit on this, but Michigan's undergrad accounting program is not as intensive as Michigan State, I would say. At Michigan, in the business school, everybody in the business school does a business administration major, and you can choose to kind of focus your major on different subjects. So for me, that was accounting. I took as many accounting courses as I could. But to hit on your question about whether accounting classes are particularly difficult, I think, of course, to an extent, this depends on the student. For me, I thought that the strategy classes were very difficult because it's very high level thinking. I really liked the accounting courses because they made sense to me. Everything that was taught in our accounting courses, it was very logical. And it was something that you can always get to like kind of add up and make sense in your brain if you really work at it and study it. And to kind of also touch on, I don't think you have to be really good at math to be a good accountant. I think a lot of the math and accounting tends to be very simple math. It's just kind of understanding the logic of accounting. But yeah, just to hit a little bit more on the major at U of M, if you are going or looking to go to the University of Michigan, you have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone a little bit and try to choose, if you know accounting is something that you want to do, try to take all the accounting electives that you can and maybe get involved with some of the organizations on campus that are focused on accounting.
Great. Thanks for that, Nolan. And I'll switch it over to the MSU perspective. Meredith, maybe we'll start with you. And, first part of the question, what's the program like within Broad at MSU?
I consider myself a pretty decent math person. I've always liked it. I think people give us a lot of credit with our math skills, but it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, division.
We use a calculator for that stuff now. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not as impressive as you might think. But I guess hitting back to Michigan State and our program, a little different from U of M. So there's a couple application processes within Broad that I think I didn't know the steps as well, but I'll give you guys the scoop as younger business professionals. And so you, of course, apply to college and get into Michigan State. And then if you're interested in business, you'll be labeled a business preference major at Michigan State. And then there are business prereqs that you take, and then you apply to the Broad College. And then once you're admitted into the Broad College, you have some Broad core prereqs. And so you enter into your introductory financial accounting and managerial accounting. And I think if you do really well in those classes, that's when you really kind of find your love for accounting. I think for me, it's accounting 201. And so it's the financial accounting one. And I actually tutor that class. This is my second year tutoring it now through our multicultural business college program within our college. And so I really like that puzzle aspect that Nolan kind of talked about, how there's, and you'll learn this later, if you do go into accounting, like your debits equal your credits. And so in other areas of study, it's memorization of different things. But I love knowing that if I did it wrong, I'm going to find out immediately, because if something's not balancing, then maybe I know where to start as far as looking for errors and things. And so I really like that. And then from there, after you kind of complete your core business classes, you kind of declare your major, and accounting happens to be one of the more competitive majors. And then it's a kind of a process to get into accounting. And once you're in there, you go into intermediate. And so I would say every kind of major is harder at higher education. So it's not easy, I will say, but I think Michigan State does a great job of resources. For example, I tutor at the university, and the accounting department's amazing. I think one of my strongest resources is my professors, just going to them, even in the virtual environment, just asking for help, because that's what you're paying for. You're paying for these team of people that are in your corner. So I really don't think it's as intimidating as it's advertised.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Meredith. Nina, with you, I think you're an alum of MSU in Broad now. So you've gone through the program in its entirety. Maybe give us your perspective on, kind of when you started, when you knew you wanted to do accounting, you chose accounting, you got into the program and have gone through now. You give us your experience of kind of when you started and when you ended, and what your experience was focused on the school aspect of it. We'll talk about your internship and other experience next.
Okay, yeah. So I have a little bit of a different experience. I opted to do my undergrad in 3 years instead of 4. And so when I went into college, I had some AP credits. And so that kind of put me ahead of what Meredith was talking about, that process. So I was business preference for 1 semester, and I was just taking a lot of general education classes. And then my second semester, I was business admit. So that was when I kind of got started taking those accounting classes. the intros. And then I think my third semester, I was business admin, so I was still taking those intro classes. And then for my last 3 semesters, I was kind of taking those upper level accounting classes. So I kind of did it a little bit different than most, but it was definitely manageable. I didn't take more than 16 credits a semester, and I used my summers wisely. But I thought the program was really awesome at just kind of giving you a great overview of accounting. And especially finishing the program, I thought that, so the accounting capstone course, which is your audit class, that was one of my favorite classes. And I thought that class was so beneficial at preparing you for the CPA exam that I think right after that class ended, I started studying and then I passed my exam on the first try. So overall, I thought the program was great at kind of getting you prepped for a career in CPA exams.
Great. Yeah, it's great to hear all of you talking about, especially with the difference between MSU and U of M. I think having the 3 of you and folks that do watch this, you get a feel for the difference. I think in both cases you have to be intentional, but it sounds like from a U of M perspective, with them not having the formalized accounting major, you do have to make sure you're covering all your bases there. So thank you guys for that. Nina, maybe I'll start with you for the next question, actually. And this one will bring us to your internship experience at Grant Thornton. Tell us about your internship experience and tell us, as an intern, what you got to do and what it was like on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so for my first internship, I interned during the summer, which is traditionally less busy than the winter time. And so kind of on a day-to-day basis, I would either be at the office or I'd go out to the client site and I'd work directly with the team there, kind of assisting in the audit process. I got to work on a couple of different clients, which was really awesome, and kind of working on their quarterly reports, which I thought kind of gave me a really good overview of like what happened there and like if I were to work there full time, that's what my day would kind of look like. So I was never kind of in one place for too long. And so I thought it was just a really awesome experience. And I got to work on a lot of diverse clients in different industries. So
awesome. Thank you. And I think this is a great question. And Meredith, I'll kick it over to you next.
Yeah, so just highlighting my internship experience, having the opportunity to do 2 internships at UI, I think I got 2 different perspectives. But one thing I will say is if you're considering a career in accounting, it's definitely really rewarding. And the earlier you get in, the more you see that. And so as I mentioned earlier, I was a launch intern. And so one great thing that UI does, pre-pandemic and probably post-pandemic as well, is that all the launch interns from across the United States, we had a big national launch training. And so that was actually like that summer, it was like the first time I had been on a plane, actually. They flew all of us out to Dallas, and it was a 3-day training program, and we were put in like a very fancy hotel, and I got to meet interns from across the United States. And so very early, I got to see how valuable I was as a future employee. And so that's honestly an amazing feeling at 19 to be put on a plane and have this amazing experience. And then coming back to the Detroit office, getting to rotate in the different service lines. I think for me, you'll hear this phrase a lot, just be a sponge. And that when you're an intern, you're just ask questions, like pick everyone's brain, and you're getting paid to decide if this is what you want to do with your life. So I think it's so amazing that was my experience. And I think no matter what you choose in accounting, your specialty, there's no wrong choice. But I think for me, I kind of gravitated towards tax with the people I was around. And I liked that theme of tax is always changing. And of course, the field will change as well, but your tax laws and different things are always going to change. And I liked that challenge. And I think different from Nina, I'm less of a traveler. So the tax folks are in the office more. And I think I love UI's office culture. So that really was the deciding factor for me, the people and kind of the different learning, I think, as opposed to consulting your audit.
Great, Meredith. Thanks. Glad to hear that was your experience. Nolan, maybe we'll kick it over to you. Tell us about your experience with KPMG.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed my audit internship at KPMG. I think kind of similar to what probably both of you guys had as well. I got to see a lot of different clients while I was doing my internship. So that was kind of exciting to move across teams and to kind of see how some different companies were audited. Um, I also did during my internship at KPMG, I participated in their global internship program. So this is something that's offered, I think, at all of the big four, and I believe Grant Thornton and the other accounting firms as well. But I spent half of my internship over in New Zealand, which was really cool and really rewarding. And I think this is something that's kind of true for the accounting profession is that there's just so much opportunity coming out of undergrad. All the accounting firms are really going to make sure that you're taken care of. If working globally is something that you think you want to do, you'll probably be able to find an opportunity to do that. But yeah, it was a really rewarding internship experience, and I definitely learned a lot. And I would repeat what Meredith said about being a sponge. So it's very important in your internship.
Yeah, Nolan, that's a great point. We have it's wonderful that you got to do that with KPMG. We have a similar program with EY, and I assume a lot of the firms have that. But we do send some interns every year to Australia, New Zealand, as well as one of the locations. So awesome, very great to hear. Very very diverse experiences among the three of you. So I think this is great for the students that are going to watch this. Maybe one more question, having selected accounting as your major area of focus, having done an internship, what are some of the what are some of the ways your perspective on accounting as a career path has changed after doing your internship? And then what are, if there's any new opportunities that you didn't think were a possibility for you, where you had a mind shift now. We can talk about that. And Nolan, we'll come back to you to start this question off.
Yeah, so I think probably what a lot of people first think when you tell them that you're doing accounting is they think you're doing taxes. So this is something that I found to be true, but my expectation, I would say before doing my internship, I was definitely nervous. I didn't really know what to expect. I wasn't sure if I was going to be expected to just be able to do the same work that like a first year associate would be doing, or what really my expectations would be. So I was a little nervous, but I found at my internship that it was very easy to ask for help and kind of learn as I go. But really, I would say the most surprising thing that I think a lot of people wouldn't really expect about accounting is how much of like a team job it is. So when you're doing an audit, or same thing with tax, you're working on teams, and really, I'm sure Will could speak to this way better than I could, but you're making sure that everyone is able to get their work done. You're asking questions, kind of making sure that everyone is using their strengths so that the team benefits the most. And it's really fun, I think, to work in that kind of environment where you're constantly communicating with other people and constantly working with other people. Whereas I think a lot of people, when they hear about accounting, would assume that you're working by yourself on spreadsheets on Microsoft Excel, which isn't really true.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, Nolan. I mean, the teaming aspect of what we do is certainly something that drew me into this as a career path and really helped keep me around for this long. And I think it's that apprenticeship model and being, in the room or working with your team and being a sponge and soaking up everything going on around you that makes this just a wonderful learning and development environment as well. So, Nina, it will same question for you.
Yeah, I definitely had a similar experience to Nolan. I was really nervous going into my internship. I was a lot younger than a lot of my peers there. So I was nervous that I wouldn't know enough or I didn't have enough classes under my belt. But really, I think the teamwork model and like kind of being in the room where it all happens, I felt really supported by my team. so that if I had a problem or I had a question, there was always someone in that room to help answer it. And I worked on a lot of different teams. So I got to have a lot of different experiences and kind of take my knowledge from one team and move it into the next team. And so I kind of could at least see some improvement, even though it was a really short amount of time. And so I really valued that team aspect.
Awesome. Great to hear that's a consistent theme so far. Meredith, we'll end this one with you.
Yeah, I think it's funny that Nolan said accounting's not just taxes, and I'm the odd one out that actually chose tax. But I think even in tax, what I was surprised to see, and I mentioned a little bit, after my launch internship, I did a tax internship, and so there are so many sub-service lines within your specialty. And so with tax, like I did some global compliance where I actually, was doing tax return work. But then there's what UI calls business tax advisory. And that was amazing because there's an advisory consulting element of tax where that we're consulting with clients and helping them with different types of tax credits that they can write off for the year. And so there's that teamwork, of course, just to echo that theme, like you're working closely with a team. I think no matter what firm you decide on, big four elsewhere, I think you're going to come in as an intern and you're going to be given the responsibility of a first or second year staff. And I think that trust that's built early on and that expectation that, you're coming from this university, you're pursuing this degree, like you're capable. It's super motivating and makes you realize like, wow, like I can learn all this. And I think having the internship, you return to school like fired up and like ready to just like finish out your degree because you know that this job is waiting for you or this second summer internship is waiting for you. And I'll even just quickly speak about, I actually have my first tax class this semester and I learned a lot of tax concepts before I entered the course. And so sometimes it'll happen like that with these work experiences, kind of be ahead in school when you come back. So it is really just an eye-opening experience. And I would say it's the opposite of boring.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's funny, accounting certainly, gets, like most professions, maybe has a stereotype. And I think that idea of sitting in a room with a green visor on with your sleeves rolled up and working away on a spreadsheet or a tax return is certainly something that we are, at least in public accounting, we are far from. So thank you all. And I'm glad that was a consistent thing that came out. I think you all also touched upon the kind of the level of responsibility that you're given early on in your career. And again, I think that really the apprenticeship model that we have in public accounting, no matter where you work from a firm perspective, you can see is something that the profession pushes and really thrives on. Again, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck to all of you and the remainder of your collegiate career.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.